Hello and welcome to This Week in the News on Zodiac, a recap of the key stories we carried in the week. Coming up in this edition, President Chakwera urges MCP members to work hard to aim for the party to win next year's elections. Malawi first lead protests in Blanta on alleged political arrest and flaws in national ID production. And Tobacco Commission announces that $396 million United States dollars has been realized in this year's marketing season. Please stay with us for these and many more. I am Sibongile Ziambo. Thank you for joining me. The three-day Malawi Congress Party elective convention in Ilongwe has ended with delegates electing a new party executive committee. The convention has also endorsed the party president Lazarus Chakwera as the party's torchbearer in next year's general elections. Speaking at the convention's closing ceremony, President Chakwera urged the winners to serve the interests of those who have entrusted them with the positions and avoid laziness and being greedy. Kasimaubi reports.
The delegates have done a number of things, ushering in new executive committee, as well as making some resolutions. Among key resolutions may be that the delegates have agreed to endorse Dr. Lazarus Chakwera as the party's torchbearer for next year's general elections, and that the party has agreed to ensure that moving forward, all officials of the party are working in line with the policies and the guidelines of the party. The delegates, apart from electing key office holders such as the Secretary General, the Treasurer General, the Director of Legal Affairs, the delegates have agreed to allow President Chakwera, the National Executive Committee, as well as regional chairpersons to elect leaders of other positions that the delegates failed to elect during the elections, because they are saying that there are some areas that they need to consider as a party, issues of gender, issues of regional representations. So because of those reasons, they have agreed to allow President Chakwera and the other senior leaders of the party to elect office holders of some of the positions that the delegates did not elect now. In terms of what the president said during his closing remarks, he just urged those that have been elected to make sure that they commit themselves to party work, and they make sure that they don't bring divisions, and they should hit the ground now. He said that the preparations for next year's polls should start as soon as possible. So those are some of the issues that the president touched here.
Pressure Group Malawi First in the week presented a petition to the Blanta District Commissioner's office with demands that the National Registration Bureau (NRB) should urgently resolve anomalies rocking the printing of national IDs in the country. Speaking to journalists after presenting the petition, the group's leader, Kalindo, accused NRB of allegedly favoring the central region while people from other parts are struggling to get the national IDs. The protesters also raised other issues of high cost of living and political arrest, while asking the Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) to consider providing other means of identification in order to enable all eligible people cast their votes during the next year's polls. Christopher Sunday gave us this report.
Some citizens led by activist Kalindo took part in demonstrations in Blanta on Thursday, protesting against the National Registration Bureau (NRB's) failure to print national identity cards fairly, accusing it of favoring the central region. Kalindo also wants the Malawi Electoral Commission to introduce other means of identification apart from the national IDs to ensure that all eligible voters participate in the next year's polls.
We come to deliver our concerns from Malawians, issues to do with the NRB and their failures after suffocating other regions whereby people are not able to access the IDs. Concern number 2 is a plea to Malawi Electoral Commission, where we are asking them to say, since the NRB has failed, we are now appealing to the MEC chair to allow people to register during the forthcoming elections, to use other identifications like identifications like passports.
The protesters also raised the other issues of political arrest and that they have given authorities 20 days to act on their petition. Jury bearers at the Blantyre District Commissioner's office say they will forward the petition to relevant authorities. The peaceful demonstrations were heavily guarded by the huge presence of police, with several others placed in strategic business places. Reporting for Zodiac, this is Christopher Sunday.
The Tobacco Commission announced this week that $396 million US has been realized in this year's marketing season sale from 133 million kilograms of tobacco. The Commission spokesperson Tefras Chigwenembe, however, told members of the media in Lirongwe that some people posing as tobacco farmers try to bring confusion and disruptions during the season by mixing the green gold with non-tobacco materials. Chigwenembe said in view of this, they will intensify the vetting process of tobacco growers for the next growing season to address the problem. Dixon Chivwati Gondwe gave us this report.
Tobacco Commission spokesperson Tefras Chigwenembe says vendors and middlemen have been a major setback in this year's tobacco marketing season, and measures are in place to address the challenge. He believes working closely with law enforcers and rigorous verification of tobacco farmers is key to ensure that the country realizes its potential from the green gold.
Deal with nesting because it is costly. It becomes expensive on the part of our tobacco buying companies in Malawi because they pay for the tobacco, and it's unfortunate that sometimes they have to discover at the factory that the tobacco that they bought is bad, the bales are nested.
Agriculture commentator Leonard Chimaza has described the news as unfortunate to the country's tobacco industry.
It is quite a sad development that as a country we have reports that this year there were issues on tobacco nesting, most especially because of the involvement on tobacco trading by unscrupulous traders.
According to the Tobacco Commission, the country has realized $396 million US from the sale of 133 million kilograms of tobacco during the just ended marketing season. Dixon Chivwati Gondwe, Zodiac News, Lirongwe.
Authorities at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital recommended dismissal of 3 health workers for allegedly stealing the hospital's equipment in a move to enhance discipline at workplace. Hospital Director Dr. Kelvin Mponda said this should work as a strong warning to workers that the hospital and available equipment belong to Malawians and not individual workers. He was speaking during the opening of refurbished orthopedic theaters at the facility. Christopher Sunday gave us this report from Blantyre.
Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital Director Dr. Kevin Mponda has issued a stern warning that any health worker who will be found stealing the facility's equipment will face extreme disciplinary measures.
This cannot be condoned, and we have taken steps that whoever we find should be disciplined. And I was giving an example that we've already recommended for dismissal some staff members who were found doing some of this malpractice.
He said this during the opening of the renovated Mafupa theaters funded by AO Alliance Foundation to promote fracture care in Malawi. AO Alliance Foundation Managing Director Claude Martin is optimistic that the renovated orthopedic theaters will play a crucial role in conducting major surgeries.
Orthopedic and trauma surgery is very complicated in terms that you need a lot of equipment, a lot of implants, but you also need sterility. You need a clean place to do your operations because an infected fracture is an absolute disaster.
Dr. Nohakile Nyamulani is the head of trauma and orthopedic surgery department at Queen's.
We see about 600 to 800 patients per month, and out of those, about 300 require surgery, but we're only able to offer surgeries to about 80 to 100 patients per month.
Reporting for Zodiac, this is Christopher Sunday.
You're watching This Week in the News on Zodiac. We'll be right back after this break.
mbatatesi ndi chakudya chokoma kwambiri. Mbatatesi yomwe yonse chuma kwa alimi otsogola komanso mavenda. Tsopano kwabwera mbatatesi ya mtundu wa chuma yomwe alimi akupha nayo makwacha. Chuma ndi mbatatesi yomwe imacha msanga masiku 90 okha, imayika kwambiri kupatsa alimi 40 tons pa hekta imodzi. Imapirira kung'amba ndi kuchita bwino ndi mvula yochepa. Imapiriranso kuchiwawo ndi tizilombo. Mbatatesi ya mtundu wa chuma ili ndi khungu lolimba, si supuka, ndipo imakhalisa ili bwinobwino komanso sipuka wamba. Ili ngulu la zakudya zokhutitsa ndipo imapatsa thanzi ndi mphamvu. Anthu ndi makampani opanga zakudya kuchoka ku mbatatesi monga chipisi, macrisps ndi zina akukonda kwambiri mbatatesi ya mtundu wa chuma. Pindulani thanzi ndi ndalama ndi mbatatesi ya mtundu wa chuma. Uthengawu akukupatsirani ndi International Potato Center ndi thandizo lochokera ku the Embassy of Ireland kudzera ku RTC Market Project.
Life moves fast, and so should your packages. Say goodbye to waiting and hello to convenience with Post Courier, your go-to courier service. When you choose Post Courier, you're choosing speed, reliability, and peace of mind. I can always count on Post Courier for quick and safe deliveries. They never let me down.
Do you love food? And then suddenly felt the burn? Don't let heartburn or indigestion ruin your meal. Try Tummy Sid. It gets to work fast to stop acids. Tummy Sid. Fast, soothing relief from heartburn.
Welcome back to Headlines as we proceed with this edition of This Week in the News. President Chakwera urges MCP members to work hard to earn for the party to win next year's elections. Malawi first lead protests in Blantyre on alleged political arrests and flaws in national ID production. And Tobacco Commission announces that $396 million United States dollars has been realized in this year's marketing season. Moving on with the news, the Malawi Revenue Authority says it has managed to surpass its revenue collection target for the month of July by 15 billion kwacha. Its head of corporate affairs, Stephen Kapoloma, says they were expected to collect 314 billion kwacha, but they have collected 329 billion kwacha. Kapoloma has attributed the development to what he calls supportive business operators who continue paying tax. This was disclosed in the week in Lilongwe during a media training on new tax measures. We caught up with Kapoloma.
So far, since the start of the new financial year, we are doing very well. Of course, in the first quarter, we were unable to meet the target, but we achieved 41% growth, which was huge. But the good news is that in the month of July, we have exceeded the target. We were requested to collect 314 billion, but we have collected 329 billion, surpassing that target by 15 billion. And guess what? The growth is over by 62% over what we collected last year. This is thanks to the business community that have been very supportive in terms of our revenue collection efforts. We would like to encourage them to continue to come to MRI on their own to pay taxes. And we would also want to encourage the media to continue to share the information about taxes to the public so that the public should voluntarily come to MRA and pay taxes, as we have seen in the month of July.
Meanwhile, one of the journalists from Unico FM, Shadrack Sindiza, says the training was an eye-opener.
The importance of this training cannot be overemphasized. And again, I feel like that the training has come at the right time. Right time because Malawians out there are very much confused. MRA has just introduced the tax stamp, and many people do not have the right information concerning the same. So this training has helped us to inaugurate us with the right information concerning this introduction of the new tax stamp. You know, there are some quotas that even threatened to take to the streets, saying that this stamp is just coming to make the business environment in Malawi very much prohibitive. MRA is just being punitive to Malawians. So this training has provided us with the right information, which as journalists we are going to relay the right information to Malawi.
Malawi's import and export volumes through Mozambique's port of Beira have increased by 69.6%, increasing from 17,300 containers in the first half of 2023 to 32,402 containers in the same period in 2024, according to officials. Miguel Dijenga, Operations Director at Conadea de Mozambique, CDM, which manages the port, says this growth underscores the port's strategic importance for Malawi, particularly for agriculture products. Dijenga also mentioned plans to expand the port, including a dedicated fertilizer terminal to support Malawi's agroeconomy and boost regional trade. From Beira, Alex Banda gave us this report.
This is Beira Port in Mozambique, being run by Kalindo de Mozambique, CDM. This facility, according to officials, remains one of the strategic ports for Malawi's imports and exports. Miguel Dijenga, who is the Director of Operations here at Kalindo de Mozambique, says the containers that have been exported between Malawi and Mozambique through Beira Port have increased from 17,300 in 2023 to about 32,400 in the first half of 2024, representing about a 69.6%, demonstrating how crucial this port is for Malawi. Let's hear what he has to say about that.
And the volumes for Malawi are increasing, and we as a port, when we start building the terminal, fertilizer terminal, this will increase the productivity in terms of vessels that we are handling. And of course, we'll have more rotation. This also will smooth, help or improve all the logistics to Malawi.
Dijenga says they plan to expand the facility with a dedicated terminal for fertilizer. He says they have already set aside $290 million to expand this facility to accommodate different terminals that are also going to help and assist Malawi to boost its agro-based economy. These plans are going to be implemented by 2035 in the long term. From Beira Port in Mozambique, this is Alex Banda.
The Office of the Director of Public Officers Declarations, Audiport, has announced that it will name and shame public officers who have yet declared their assets for the fiscal year 2022-2023. Audiport Director Michael Chusiwa made the announcement in Lilongwe in the week at the start of a two-day orientation workshop for declaration desk officers from 216 government ministries and departments. Chusiwa added that the exercise will assist public officers to realize the importance of declaring their assets.
You may recall that this office started in 2014. That time, because we were just starting, we had very few public officers who were declaring, not because they were not supposed to, but because, one, they didn't know, two, they were not sure. They thought maybe we are an institution which was just being used, possibly by some organs within the government, including the government itself, the executive. But with time, we have been improving. And as we are talking now, in our system, we have declarations that are more than 70,000. And public officers that have been declaring, we have more than 20,000 since 2014. So as an institution, we are...
And chairperson for the public appointments of Parliament, Joyce Chitsulo, says she is pleased with Audiport's progress in promoting transparency and accountability in the public sector.
Yeah, as a monitoring committee, we feel that this way it is working, but we, as a matter of having our future plans, we are also planning, as we have already alluded to make sure that we publish in the Gazette a list of public officers that have declared their assets and those that have not declared. Why we are doing that is so that the public should know which officers still want to be engaged in issues of corruption, because if one is failing to declare the assets, definitely that person is not willing to end issues of corruption. But we are also looking at the issue of transparency. Like I said, we didn't want to build trust in the public servants, in the public. They should be able to entrust us as their public servants, public officers, to ensure that the money we handle on their behalf is really in the good hands. So as a matter of our next steps, we didn't want to make sure that we publish in the Gazette the list of those that have and those that haven't. And with support from UNDP, we are doing that. I think within the next 2-3 months, we should have that out in the Gazette so that the public knows. And apart from naming and shaming, we also want to make sure that the law takes its course by punishing those that will be appearing as not complying with the law.
That's what we had time for on this edition of This Week in the News. Another look at the top stories before we leave you. President Chakwera urges MCP members to work hard to aim for the party to win next year's elections. Malawi first lead protest in Blantyre on alleged political arrests and flaws in national ID production. And Tobacco Commission announces that $396 million United States dollars has been realized in this year's marketing season. Visit zodecmalawi.com for more on these and other stories. I am Sibongile Siambo. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.